this shit stolen. If that bitch tell on me, I'ma do a fucking drive-by in her colon. With my meat, gotta keep it obsolete. Like Chris Brown when Rihanna got her fucking ass beat.
What's up, y'all? I finally got a chance to sit down and check out the Velma show because I believe HBOMax released the first 2 episodes the first day, and everyone just started reviewing it right then and there, saying it was horrible. And in my personal opinion, I feel like you should watch at least 3 episodes of a show before you give your honest opinion. Because if you just that's like a book. If you read like the first chapter of a book and you just don't like it, you're not even giving the book a chance. So not only did I watch the first 3 episodes of Velma, I ended up finishing the series. So today, I will give my honest opinion on the Velma series. Because once I started seeing reviews and everyone talking about it, I felt like people were over-exaggerating. Even when I searched the show online on Google to see the reviews for it from Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb, I was just sitting here like, it can't be more than like 4.5 out of 10 bad. It currently has a fucking 1.4 out of 10 on IMDb. And I think like the Rotten Tomatoes score for like the critics is like at a 40 something. And audiences, that's the lowest score I've seen for audiences. I think a while ago I saw it was at 9. I think it's at 6 now from audiences. So yeah, I have my bullet points. So we're going to do a deep dive on this show about how I actually feel about it. Because I went into the show with a fresh mind and just wanted to critique it on the content. So first, let's talk about Scooby-Doo as a whole, how I feel about it. Scooby-Doo was just a known property to me, but it never was something that I like watched heavily. Because I don't think they really showed it that much on Cartoon Network or showed it at the times when I would watch Cartoon Network. I remember when I was 8, I was at my cousin's house and he had Boomerang and he turned on Scooby-Doo and I was watching it and I was like, man, this shit is boring. Because like the only Scooby-Doo media I've watched front to back several times were the 2 live action movies. And I love those. Those are funny. But like, I don't know, watching the old vintage Scooby-Doo shows, I didn't really care for them that much. I mean, I don't know. From what I got, it would be like the gang was split up. It'd be Shaggy and Scooby. Then it'd be Velma, Daphne, and Fred. And then like Scooby and Shaggy will find the monster and they'll scream and run away. And then they don't get him at first. Then they get him, take the mask off, yada, yada, yada. And that's like the formula of each show, right? That's why I wasn't really into it. And then Warner Brothers won't let the show die, or the property at least, because they keep making different shows, different movies, but they're doing different stuff with them. Like, you know, them meeting WWE, them meeting Kiss, and all this shit. But that's just to keep it fresh, keep it modern, keep it relevant, wink at the older generation who grew up with the show, yada, yada, yada. So with a lot of Scooby-Doo media, they have to do different things. People hate the live action movies, but I like them because, like, you know, they probably hate them because of the innuendos and the adult jokes in them and shit. But like I said, even when I was trying to watch Scooby-Doo as a kid, the old shows, I didn't really find them interesting. I found them boring. So you really have to do things to spice shit up. Same with like the Cat in the Hat movie. I fucking love that movie and everyone hates it. But if it was just 90 minutes of like regular Cat in the Hat stuff, it wouldn't be good. Like, is there an actual Cat in the Hat movie that's longer than an hour? I don't think it is, because there's not much you could do. Like, you can do the generic kid stuff, but what else can you do for, like, the rest of the runtime? That's why Hollywood goes into just making shit inappropriate as hell. So, I see him at the 4-minute mark. Next bullet point. The show as a whole. So, I went into this show not looking at it as a Scooby-Doo related show, but as its own adult, just another adult cartoon that's on a streaming site, you know. As a Scooby-Doo related show, it's not good because, like, it just changes the characters' personalities times 10. Like, however you known them as, they're just different in this series. So, yeah, if you watch this as a Scooby-Doo fan and you're just wanting them to be the same, it's not that. So that's why people hate it. You know, and people really hate watching it just because they're just expecting them to be like the old people. And it's not. They just tweak them. And it just makes you hate all the characters. Yeah, but I watched it as a regular adult cartoon. As I'm watching it, I didn't really like correlate them to Scooby Doo until they would make a Scooby Doo related joke, or until they'll say one of their names. Like Fred is a regular ass name. The only names that alarm me being like said would be like Daphne, and I'd be like, oh yeah, this is a Scooby Doo show. But aside from her name being said and Velma's name being said, I didn't correlate this to Scooby Doo. So as a regular adult show, it's okay. Like I sat there and watched the whole show. Like I was watching that '90s show at first, and then I stopped watching that '90s show just to watch this. And honestly, the show, after I finished watching it, it's a 6 out of 10. Like it's not terrible. Like it reminds me of modern day Family Guy, where it's like long played out jokes, long played out gags, racist jokes, offensive jokes, explaining a joke. Like it felt like they saw recent Family Guy and just took everything from that and put it in their show. Because there was a lot of moments where Velma just seemed like Meg. They just treated her like Meg, and it just like it seemed like a modern day Family Guy episode. And it's like with modern day Family Guy, I won't watch it, but if it's on TV and ain't nothing else to watch, I will look at it. And that's how I feel with watching Family Guy. Like they have a lot of jokes and they all don't hit, and I realize, oh, that's supposed to be a joke. Cool. And then it'll be some shit that actually make me laugh out loud. So yeah, the show as a whole, 6 out of 10. Like with people shitting on it that hard, it made it seem like it was like the worst show ever. And it's not, because later I got 3 shows that are way worse than this. The characters. Velma is the worst character in her own show. And I don't understand why they thought this was going to be a good idea, you know? Because I've watched so, for example, the Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie. Greg was the worst character in his own movie, but he still has some aspects that you liked. Velma is just horrible. She's selfish. She uses people, and like the whole show is about her trying to find her mom and solve this mystery about her mama. So it's really like fuck everybody else. She just uses people, and I don't understand why they made her into that way. That's why I don't really correlate this with Scooby Doo, because this is just a dumb thing for them to even fucking do. Because this show could have been good as a parody show or as like its own show, not even nothing related to Scooby-Doo. I feel like this was supposed to be its own thing, but Warner Brothers pushed it to make them like do some Scooby-Doo related shit just to sell it on the name. Because yeah, this is the most viewed show on HBOMax, which is like great, but at what cost? Look at the fucking reviews. Then y'all trying to greenlight it for a season 2. It just could have been something different. It just could have been a whole nother like rip-off show that people be like, oh, it's just ripping out Scooby-Doo, and it would have like got more positive reviews than this. But yeah, Velma's horrible. All the other characters grew on me though. Like Fred annoyed me at first, but he grew on me. Norville is cool. Daphne, I like Daphne actually. Daphne in the show is pretty cool. I like everybody. I like Velma's dad. It's just Velma is the worst character in this show. Don't have no redeem. It just seems like if they gave Meg a show, but they just made Velma this sick, twisted, horrible ass person, which is very weird. Very weird to me. The jokes. One of the main reasons why I quit like associating this to Scooby-Doo is that they kept making like offensive and racist jokes. So the main joke was like Fred holding his arm up and then like having like this eyelash on his lip to make him look like Hitler. I find shit like that funny, but like when you correlate it with like Scooby-Doo, it just seems weird because they would never make a joke like that. So it just seemed crazy that they even like implemented that in the show.
No pictures, unless it's in portrait mode. Oh God, he looks like Hitler, and not just because we compare everyone to Hitler these days. Come on.
Some of the gags are played out like it's this. This show literally wants to be Family Guy because like Family Guy does a lot of shit that's not canon, you know, which means like they do a lot of stuff that doesn't pertain to the story. It's just a gag, a quick little joke to throw you off. So it's been times where like character like in the first 3 episodes, Fred gets shot in the knees. Then the next episode he's fine, like he didn't get shot. Another episode, Fred throws like this symbol at a student and he cuts his leg off. Student is fine, but his leg is off. So like a few episodes, that was a gag. Like, oh, this boy's foot's still cut off and shit. Very weird. I think Daphne kicked Velma to the wall or some shit and she bled, but the next scene she was fine. They're doing shit like Family Guy, so the show doesn't know if it wants to be like realistic, like how Archer is, a realistic action, or just really stupid and fucking cartoony like Family Guy. Shit, there was an episode where the characters fell down this fucking like hole and they got smushed by this rock, but no one is hurt. And it's like, I don't know how to feel about the show now, because like Family Guy, you can't take Family Guy serious when a fucking dog can talk. Like, and the baby can talk too and is an evil genius. You don't take a show like that seriously. This show with actual real high school aspects, you could and would take it seriously. There was one scene where Daphne and Velma were riding around on a fucking suitcase, like it was like a bike or some shit. And I'm like, yeah, shit like that kind of throws you off. And like I said, I watched the whole show. The show was fine. The ending kind of pissed me off because Velma is such a fucking bitch. Like, at the end of the fucking show, Fred's mom dies because she's the killer, and she tries to kill Norval with a bullet. Norval hits the bullet. It hits like this like thing in a cave, the little spiky thing. I don't know what it's called. That falls on her and she dies. And Velma is just dancing because she's all happy that she solved the case. And it's like, you a fucking bitch. And it's like, you know, I don't want to be like everybody on the internet getting mad about a fucking cartoon because these are cartoon characters. But it was just annoying. And like all the characters hate each other now. Like Norval does not like Fred because, no, Fred doesn't like Norval because Norval killed his mama. Making her the worst character is so dumb. Like, she got Fred. She got Fred's mama killed because she was the murderer. But now Fred's mama is dead, and she happy that the case is closed. But Fred's mama is dead. Like, come on now. Daphne is mad at Velma because she said she loved Norville instead of her. And another thing with the show that pissed me off was like the random relationship shit with the gang liking each other. Like, Norville likes Velma. Velma likes Fred. Then Velma likes Daphne. Now Velma likes Norval. What's it called? Fred's dating Daphne. He breaks up with Daphne. Now he likes Velma. And it's like, why are y'all just making them like hop from each other? Like, I really hate shows like that. You know, it don't make sense half the time. It just seems forced. Some of it seems forced. And then they have some build up with the shit. But it's still kind of stupid to me. Like, it don't make any. It just don't do that. Like, ooh, shit. So if they get to season 2, I'll watch it to see how shit goes. But it's just like that ending was just not. Ooh. And then the voice acting is cool. It's just Mindy Kaling, is that her name? Her voice acting is cool. It's just when it's time to like show emotion, she doesn't do so well. And I'm like, what the fuck? Is that how she is? Because I never watched The Office to see how she actually is. So if she actually is like that in regular stuff, then I guess. But I don't know. I remember watching Parks and Recreation and seeing how Aubrey Plaza would like act in that show. But when Aubrey Plaza has like some acting roles and shit in cartoons, she actually shows emotion. Because I thought she was like some emotionless actress. But no, she knows when it's time to show emotion, and Mindy, they need to really work on that with them. Work on the jokes a little bit. Kind of tone down certain shit, because it's like some of the violence and some of the jokes are like real unnecessary that they didn't even need to have, because it's like, it's one of them adult shows that want to be like, oh, I'm adult. They want to scream, I'm an adult show. Well, you don't need to do certain stuff. Like, first few minutes of the first episode, the teenage girls are in the locker room naked, and it's like, what the fuck? That's why people are just sitting here like, who is this show for? Because you really don't know half of the time, because it's like, these are teens, the teachers are creeping on them, they're drawing them sexy, so it's like, is this for adults? Is this for teens? It's rated TV MA for mature adults? It's like, too much. Is that everything I have to say? Probably. Like I said, it wasn't a bad watch. I don't regret watching it because it was cool for what it was. I just didn't like the ending, but regardless, you know, they found a way to piss people off because people just like, they hate Scooby-Doo. And they must, I don't know. With a fucking franchise that's bringing them billions of dollars, I hope they don't make more shit like this. Like, you can't shit on a property that's bringing you money. That's just like Nickelodeon shitting on SpongeBob. Fox shitting on The Simpsons. This is your only source of income, so let's not do that. Last thing I want to talk about are 3 cartoons that I think are worse than Velma, because Velma was not that bad. I ain't gonna watch it again, but there's some scenes and clips I like that was funny.
Oh, damn, girl, how'd you get all that ass in those little slacks?
So the first show I think that's worse than Velma is Glenn Martin DDS. Glenn Martin DDS was a 2009 Nickelodeon show. Well, it was for Nick at Night, an adult show for Nick at Night. Claymation from the dudes who made Celebrity Deathmatch. This show wanted to be The Simpsons and Family Guy mashed together, where it's like it's tame one minute, then it's crazy another minute, and it just did not work out. I tried to make myself watch this stuff because it's on YouTube, the episodes. I watched 4 episodes and just stopped because I was bored. Like, it wasn't going by fast. That's what's good about Velma. I wasn't bored while watching the show at all. So they did good with that. But yeah, I'm glad like 2 years later Bob's Burgers came, and that's a good mixture of Family Guy and The Simpsons, where it's like it's tame and cool and then something crazy happens and shit, but it's not too over the top. That's what Glenn Martin was going for. Glenn Martin wanted to do all these like random sex jokes and random innuendos and bad words and shit, and it's just like it didn't hit as well as it could have. So yeah, I would watch Velma again before I watch Glenn Martin DDS. Next, this was a YouTube meme, The Nut Shack. I think this came out in 2006. I don't know. I'm gonna have something up from Wikipedia to show you when it came out. This was named the worst cartoon on the internet, from the internet. They were saying like this was bad, and this is. I mean, I remember I watched one episode and I feel like I lost a lot of brain cells. Then I watched another one and I'm like, this doesn't seem too bad. It's just animation is weird, voice acting isn't all that good. It seems like some of the people were recording in different rooms. It's odd. I mean, if I actually sat down and watched it, maybe it'd be different. But this show was kind of slow paced and boring too. So yeah, this show actually does have a bad review on IMDb. I think it has a 2.6. But yeah, it was dethroned by Velma now. And then the last show that I think is worse than Velma is Paradise PD. Now, I was a fan of Brickleberry. I liked Brickleberry when it was shown on Comedy Central and shit. But Comedy Central canceled it, and they wanted to make it. They still wanted to do Brickleberry, the writers, but they couldn't get the fucking rights from the show from Comedy Central. So they went to Netflix and made a whole different show. This is just when you have no filter now. So just imagine the Ren and Stimpy show going to Spike and like not having any like direction or restrictions. This show is just nasty. It's not funny. So I think somebody always naked, somebody always throwing up, somebody always shitting, probably somebody always coming. It's just one of those shows where it's like, hey, I'm adult, I get to do whatever I want. Because like Big Mouth has that attitude, but they do it in a way that still fits with the plot. Paradise PD is just, I don't know. I don't like it. I like the voice actors and stuff from Brickleberry, but they had to switch some of them up for the new show, and I just wasn't fucking with it. I was not cool with it. I didn't like it. Like their voice, I don't know. Even when I watched like the fucking Brickleberry Paradise PD special, I missed the Brickleberry people. I love seeing them, but like the Paradise PD people, I still wasn't warming up to them. I don't like them. Yeah, those are 3 shows I feel are worse than Velma. So, how you feel about Velma? Would you watch season 2? Based on what I've said, would you give it a chance and look at it as like a different show? Because again, if these people had different names and they have no ties to Scooby-Doo whatsoever, it would be a regular 5 out of 10 fucking cartoon. Like, people wouldn't have rated it this low. Because like I said, it's the shit I named and it's way worse shit than that.
I Got you niggas nervous like a pop, tryna act his virgin hot vegan daughter where the cock goes. Wake up, wash ass, go and eat some Roscoe's. Head back to the studio to munch upon some tacos.